Hi everyone, welcome back to Miss Taylor's Art Room. This week I have something really cool. It is Japanese artist Yayoi Kusama. Yayoi Kusama is sometimes called the Princess of Polka Dots, and that's because she loved dots. She was an artist who created a lot of different types of art, paintings, sculptures, performance art, and installations where you can interact with the artwork itself. They have one thing in common though, and that is dots. One of my favorite pieces of art that I've experienced is Yayoi Kusama's Infinity Rooms. The Infinity Rooms are filled with points of light, or they're filled with blown up shapes and objects that are all covered in dots. And the entire room is made up of mirrors. So no matter where you look, there's this infinite imagery repeating itself over and over again, and you kind of get lost in that environment. I love Yayoi Kusama's Obliteration Rooms so much that I created an obliteration experience for my own students. Now, I couldn't have an entire room, so what I decided to do was to get an old dollhouse, paint the whole thing white, and gave all my students little colored dots so that we can kind of get the same feeling of being in Yayoi Kusama's Obliteration Room.
For this project, you're going to need a piece of white paper. Notebook paper will be just fine. Markers, pencils, crayons, colored pencils, whatever you've got on hand. Some colored paper. If you don't have colored paper, you can upcycle some magazines. Some circular shaped items around your house. Pencils, scissors, tape, or glue. We prefer glue, but if you don't have it, use some tape. Q-tips and a plastic baggie. And a cup of water. Let's go. First, select your color. You're going to be coloring on top of the plastic baggie like this. You want to get a lot of color on there so that you can make paint for this project. Next, you're going to need to grab a Q-tip and you're going to dip it into the water. You want it to be very wet so you can make your paint. Then you're going to start dipping and dotting your paper all over. Just alternate filling up the whole sheet. Use the opposite side to change out colors. So use those circular shaped items around your house, cups, bowls, whatever you can find. And you need to trace them carefully in various shapes around your colored paper or magazine upcycled paper as well. You want to do different sizes. Great. So now you can cut 2 or more pieces of paper at one time, which saves tons of time. Great. Now you need to pick up either your markers or colored pencils to create dots all over your circles. Or you can go back to the Q-tips thing that we did earlier. Fill the entire circle with a bunch of dots. Great. Take your background and your dotted circles and begin figuring out your composition. Your composition is where everything in your artwork is going to go. You're experimenting right now. You're figuring out where you want your pieces to go. For this composition, your pieces can go off the edge of the paper. There are no rules. We're just putting it all together and figuring it out as we go along. They can all be lined up in the center or off to the center. It's whatever you want to do. Rearrange until you feel like you've gotten it just right. Sometimes turning your composition, your piece, will help you figure out where you want everything to be so it's exactly the way that you want it. Overlapping the shapes makes it even more exciting, and it reminds me of Yayoi Kusama's Obliteration Room. That's it. You can glue or you can tape everything down. First build the smaller circles and then voila, you've got a beautiful Obliteration Room inspired Kusama art. I hope you had fun.